Hi, this is Beth from Confidence Education, and I'm with Annie, the walk and talk therapist, and we are on our podcast number 5, which is amazing.
Yes.
We feel we might have actually got quite a few of the tech bits and bobs right this time, finally.
I think the volume control seems okay. I think we're all okay.
Yes. So today we're going to be looking at conditions of worth, which sounds a bit of a serious title, and actually it's a deep topic that we're going to be talking about. But hopefully throughout our chat today, in the beautiful sunshine, I hasten to add, you'll understand what it's about and realise that actually this is, if you understand what this is about, it's going to be massively helpful to you.
It is. It's really powerful and it's inescapable. Every single person on the planet will have, whether they're aware of it or not, some conditions that they would put on their worth. But as Beth said, we will start to unpick what the title means in itself. But in terms of the time of year it is, we acknowledge it's been a break since our episode 4, because that was very much around exam time. It feels timely that we've had a break over the summer and are we the week before results?
Yeah, we are at the moment,
okay. And we did touch on the fact that what does a result mean in terms of you as a person? Does it mean that you are amazing? Does it mean that you have you deserve something less than somebody else? So those conditions of the results day. So we're looking at a dog. There's a dog in the podcast
I've got my
today.
dog here, and she's just trying to catch butterflies and failing, thankfully.
Yes.
Relieve her. So Annie, you've said that this is actually really good timing. Maybe we'll touch on that as we go through about why, when we look at different conditions of worth.
I think it will sort of present itself. So what is a condition of worth? So we kind of break it down and say it could be described as those are the rules or the standards that we believe we must meet to gain either acceptance from other people or society or a specific person maybe, or gain a positive regard from somebody, respect, care, love. There's always sort of a rule book of, I must, for example, look a certain way. That will make me attractive, that will make me more lovable, or I must be a super hard-working person because then people will believe this about me. So that's the vein that we're going to go down. But I would summarise or put my headline at, what is a condition of worth? Well, it's a condition I put on myself or I've been given that I then need to adhere to, which will make me loved, accepted and safe, really, if we're looking at on a primitive DNA level. So that there are core beliefs about what makes us a valuable person. And it's crazy to think of it like that, because we, in the main, wake up, get on with our life, crack on, and don't really pay attention to how we behave.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Absolutely.
But yes, academic success sort of ties in here around, am I valuable then? If I've not got the right grades, am I a lesser person? And that's not true.
And that's something that's really important for me to talk about, partly from my own experience, but also because of the students that I work with. It feels very much, when you're taking your GCSEs, A-level, even at university with your degree results, it feels like that is the thing, the only thing that is going to pave your path and get you to where you want to be. And so sometimes if you don't quite get the results that you were hoping for, so I didn't go to the university that I originally planned to go to. I went to a different university, and at the time that felt like the end of the world, and all my plans had been thrown out the window, and it was very hard for me to get my head around. But actually, although sometimes things don't quite go to plan, it has all worked out. And I wouldn't be sitting here, I've said this before, I wouldn't be sitting here doing this with Annie had I have got the results that I had originally thought I was going to. So
you said there's always a plan B.
There is always a plan B. I'm going to return to that. But I very, very firmly felt that my worth was tied up in those exam results.
Yeah, and I'm sure at some point a lot of us can appreciate that to a lesser or greater degree.
Yes.
A greater degree. But they develop early in our life, these conditions. And if you think about all the people we spend our time with, we've got parents, other family members, teachers, any life experience. And it kind of stems from that punish reward system of, if I got rewarded for something, that felt good, I'll do that again. That must be a condition that makes me have a cuddle. That must be how I could be. So if you imagine that a girl helps her mum, a child helps her mum. I said girl, but that's very stereotypical. But a girl helps her mum and she's obedient and she is very helpful. Then she gets praise or affection, or she's told, aren't you helpful? You're so good to help, Mummy. Thank you so much. She believes that she's worthy of love. But the danger, of course, is if we don't do that, the child then gets anxious that there's a problem.
Yes. And I guess if love and caring for someone is only given in exchange for something else, in that case study you said, it's to do with being helpful, then it gets a bit confusing, because you think, I'm only going to feel good about myself, I'm only going to feel love from someone else if I'm being helpful.
Yes, I agree. And these significant others, like parents, teachers, people that we might see as more authoritative or senior, have real influence, don't they, over that early part of years of what do I need to do to stay safe here and get the things I want to have. And we learn it through behaviours, we learn it through achievements. It can be explicit, like I said, where we explicitly say well done, or I love you, or aren't you clever. Dangerous one, we always talk about that, don't we? A child, to be told they're clever, thinks, oh, so I'm worthy then, you love me then. Whereas actually to acknowledge that they've put work in, or they've concentrated hard on something that was previously more difficult, I'm acknowledging the work I see you do.
So I'm just thinking an example here of a student that I've worked with who is absolutely brilliant. That student has really severe dyslexia and has struggled a lot with accessing education, and they've made tremendous progress this year. I'm really proud of the effort and the kind of diligence. They've listened to what I've said, they've applied it, and they are going to get a much higher grade actually than what they were in year 10. They're not looking at a 9, but they are looking at passing. And for that student, given the journey that they've been on, it is just such a tremendous achievement.
That's great.
And for me, as a tutor, I'm just so proud of this student.
I bet you are.
But some people might look at that grade not knowing the story and go, oh well, they're average. Actually, no, they're not average. They're amazing. The barriers that they've overcome to achieving that is really quite incredible.
And that's where all judgments are wrong, because nobody knows the story, the context behind it. But if we sort of go back to where our conditions, or the rule book, that we get given a rule book of what we need to do to be these wonderful things, it starts early. But children need unconditional love and acceptance to have a healthy sense of worth. So I know, so a child might say, I know that if I get this wrong, it's going to be okay. I won't get punished unreasonably for this, and I will still be part of the family. A family unit is the place where children are allowed to strike out, practice things, get it right, get it wrong, but they can always come back, and they know that that's going to be okay. It's not the place where they would get either a gold sticker or a punishment, and therefore that reinforces a message of what's good or bad, if you like.
And I think that's quite tricky, isn't it? Particularly if someone is listening and maybe they haven't been able to have that environment. How can you help yourself to have a feeling of worth, to feel confident in yourself and happy when you perhaps haven't had that support around you?
Well, and it's a great question. That's what the podcast is here to understand. First of all, what is a condition of worth? Hopefully people might be starting to think, I've always done that, and I don't know why I've always done that. Doesn't necessarily make me happy. And the first part to understanding and being able to maybe lead a happier life that's more in line with what you want to be and who you want to be is to acknowledge the mismatch. And the mismatch is, who am I, or who I should be? Because when those aren't in the same place, we are doing something different.
Oh, and it's that word should again, Annie.
Yeah, it should.
We've talked about that before, haven't we?
I should do this because that will make everyone happy.
Yes.
But actually, I don't really want to do whatever it might be. So this mismatch of, so recognising is my first answer of, I feel I've got low worth, maybe a bit anxious, low mood, is because I'm doing things that I don't want to do. So have I got a condition on me that makes me behave that certain way. But people that stick to the rule books, I would encourage them to say, you could give that rule book back. So whoever's given you this book, and they've written, like your teacher wrote on one page, you need to work really hard. If you get less than this, then you'll never make anything of yourself in life. So there might be a page of your metaphorical, obviously, rule book that's been written in by teachers that have written all these conditions. You might turn the page, and the chapter is then maybe a parent or a grandparent that has said, you must never show your emotions, don't ever do that, that's a weakness, why would you do that? So that's another condition of, okay, so if I did start to cry, then I'm less lovable, am I, or I'm a weaker member of the family. The next page might be somebody else, but you can understand how I'm describing this sort of what we pick it up as we go through life. So once you know that, I would challenge people to say, which ones are unhelpful, which ones make me the least happy or the most unhappy. Because what we're actually doing, if we're going to be honest, is a condition of worth forces us to judge ourselves. We judge ourselves for any mistakes that we make or anything that we're not very good at, rather than just accepting yourself as an unconditionally of, this is how I like to lead my life. And actually, Beth and I were talking before we press play about as we grow older, we get probably a better understanding and a better grip on these conditions, because we're more able to choose who we spend our time with.
Oh gosh, that helps.
So at school you kind of all herd it together, and you're with the same teachers, the same people, and it can reinforce unhelpful messages. It can also reinforce wonderful ones as well. But as you get older, you can sort of sift out friends, or you can maybe spend less time with family as you grow older. But it takes a while. But the beauty of this, and hopefully the podcast, is let's just be aware of it.
Yes, absolutely.
Awareness is a big thing. And you said as well, didn't you, Beth, that you probably weren't aware of it until you read a specific book that was helpful.
I read a book about this about 4 years ago. So it's taken me a long time to understand it. But for me, working hard and not giving up, not giving in, not really taking a break. If you work hard, then that's that makes you a better person.
You're good enough, are you?
You are good enough if you work hard. And absolutely, working hard is important. I still work hard, don't get me wrong. I haven't just given up my job and lying on a lilo in a swimming pool. But no, what I have realised is actually if you carry on just working hard, I got very tired. My mental health was really affected, and I wasn't actually giving my best. And I've realised that sometimes I just have to do nothing. Or just sit and listen to music and not do anything else as a reset and recovery before then taking the step back into working hard to achieve what I want to. And it's taken me a very long time to realise that is okay. And I think I'm a better human being. I'm a calmer human being for having that realisation.
You're a happier human being.
Absolutely.
And
that's very important, actually.
Well, it is, because for everybody else around you, it's important, not only for you but for them as well. And it makes me smile when you said, I just need to do nothing. Because clients will say that to me, and I'll say, but you're not doing nothing. You're recovering. Like you said, I'm not.
It's
I know
really
the act
important.
looks like you're not moving, or you're not at a laptop, but you are doing something, and you are recharging, you're recovering, you're maybe reflecting, and you're just taking stock before you go in.
Can I just say on that point, we're sitting in this lovely field on a bench outside. You can probably hear some wind and some birds and what have you. This is a place I come and do nothing. I just come and sit here. And that's a really big reset for me.
And I bet you don't feel judged here. There's no pressure here.
No, and nobody can find me.
Oh,
it's great.
Good.
And I don't bring my mobile.
I was just about to say, leave your digital stuff away.
I do not bring my mobile.
Yeah, that's important. Yeah. And conditions are varied. So you've described the work hard ethic.
Yeah.
That's sorry, and that is, so I slipped up there. Ethic is a totally different thing. Having a work ethic is a good thing.
Yeah.
Having a work hard condition.
Yeah.
It tips the balance the wrong way, and we talk about balance a lot. being able to work hard, knowing that I'm doing it for me, and I have hit my saturation point, so I need to step away and do something else, and then return to it. Is being in charge of yourself, isn't it? But all the other types of conditions that some listeners might be aware of is, men are strong and therefore you can't show that you're not strong as a man, or women, you are caring and gentle and nurturing, so why are you doing a sport that's opposite to that, for example? Be quiet and obedient. There may be some generations that believe that was the condition that they were brought up to. Or don't ask for help. I don't know what you think about don't ask for help as being a condition of that. Why would you ask for help? Why can't you cope on your own?
Yeah, I think that some people see that as a weakness. I've seen that with students where they plod on doing the thing that they know isn't quite going to work, particularly things like revision, and they don't ask for help because then that...
What does it mean?
Yeah, well, to them it means that they can't do it, and so that's an admission that they can't do it. But actually asking for help and maybe changing things and asking somebody who can help them and can give advice switches things around, switches things up, and they're able to achieve. So I see that a lot, actually.
And you said then it's an admission that I can't do it.
Yeah.
If I extend that and think, so what would happen if I asked? It makes me wonder whether that person has asked and it's been punitive, or they've been punished, or it's been frowned upon. That's made an avoidant behaviour of, I don't want to do it. Whereas a really lovely, healthier environment would be, I can't do it, I need to ask for help, and everyone's been, that's absolutely fine, we'll help you together. So you can see how a condition can get picked up really subliminally, very low level sort of stuff. Because I suppose what we're aiming for is becoming your true self, or doing the things that make you happy, which takes ages, let's be honest,
and trying a lot of different things as well. Like you don't necessarily know what that is at this moment in time, but if you are able to start to think and recognize the things that make you happy. So for me, I've realized sitting and listening to music, that is something that's really important for me as part of my reset.
Good.
It's exploring those things, isn't it?
It is. And on a similar vein, I've spoken to people who sign up for gym. I want to go to the gym every day. It makes me the most unhappy person. They said, I hate it. I hate going to the gym. So I said, well, why are you doing it? Well, because that's what people do at work. I should be doing it. I want to look like a certain way. But there are other ways of being active. That doesn't mean you have to have that condition of following other people. So again, that's a rule book, isn't it? That's somebody that you hold in high regard, maybe, or a majority, as in a workplace or a school class. If everyone's doing it, then they put the condition in. So it doesn't need to be. You don't have to have it. You can push it back, Beth. I don't want that condition. You can have that one back. Thank you very much.
Yes, absolutely. I like the idea of a rule book, and and different chapters and
different people in different
chapters.
And if people that are listening are able to maybe separate the external conditions that have come to them, and ask, am I happy with that? Is that something that is okay? Versus the inner them, and actually I'd rather not do that, or I'm happy to look the way I look, or I'm happy to work the hours I work and balance and home life. If I'm happy with that, that's the unconditional to yourself, that I'm not going to judge that, and everybody else's rule box can jog on.
I like that.
It's a family edition, isn't it?
I really like that. Okay.
And sort of just separating out, but it's a huge subject. But I think just as a taste of this, our discussion is a springboard of getting people to think. What am I doing that I'm doing for everybody else and not for me?
That's the question. Who is this for?
Why am I doing this, and who am I doing it for? It's a great mantra. I use it a lot with client work. Who are you doing it for, and are you making it happy? Why are you doing it?
So I think this actually may be something we return to in the future.
I think so.
However, our next podcast,
dead excited about this one.
We are going to be talking about social media, which is also linked into these conditions of worth.
I'm sure we pick them up that way.
Yes,
we do.
So that's what we're going to be talking about next time.
We pick up conditions of worth through watching a TV advert.
I know.
You should be driving this car. You should be going on this holiday. And if you don't look like this, then you'll never be successful. So social media, definitely, people show the glossy side of their life, the amazing side, and it has we're not going to demonize social media. It has benefits in part, but there's definitely some watch outs
Yes.
in terms of making us happier people or not.
Yes.
So yeah, we will do that in episode 6. It's exciting, 6 episodes.
It is, I know.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Annie.
Thank you very much, Beth.
And we will
See you next time.
see you next time.